Well, a frustrating evening tonight, Sean. What's your thoughts on the match and the performance?
Yes, frustrated and disappointed, Paul, to be fair. We've had some words at the end of the game. We've had words at half time. It was positive, like, don't get me wrong, but we've shown good character to get back into the game against a well drilled side. Sorry, to be fair. Second half, just nothing. We had like a little bit of a spell maybe for 10-15 minutes, and I think against a team like Connah's Quay, if you have that spell, I think it was similar to the game that we played against them the other week. You've just got to have that little bit of magic, that little bit of spark, just to capitalise, and we just lacked it really. The lads really did work hard. Connah's Quay, nullified, our threats. And the game probably became a little bit more frustrating, as the minutes were ticking away. And, just that little bit there, I think, right, Williams had a great game against Bakari. He's hit a bit of a purple patch, their winger, and he's just shifted the ball, got us half a yard, good wing play, and I can't quite remember who finished it, like, to be fair, but it just sort of took the wind out of our sails, really, and we've done what we could. We changed formation. It was a little bit of respect to Connah's Quay. I think they changed formation maybe 2 or 3 times to counteract us. We ended up throwing Eards forward with maybe 5-6 minutes to go. But yeah, unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. And yeah, we're at the Welsh Cup. Really, it was disappointing. Yeah,
I know you usually always go with a game plan. I know you've got different game plans, different opposition. I know that. Now, Nathan Craig had to be taken off quite early on in the first half. How did that change the game plan and the dynamics of the team?
Well, firstly, dropping Danny Brookwell back into left back, who I thought was brilliant, by the way. I think he's done a really good job there. He said to me at the end, it's the first time he's played there, so it gives me a little bit of an option, to be honest. But we wanted Danny Brookwell facing up like their right back, in fairness, who again had a good game. Far battles, and he did his job both against Danny and Brad, like, to be fair. But credit to them both, like they tried and tried. It just wasn't to be. The Gazebo came off with a little bit of a tight hamstring. He ran himself into the ground on Monday, and I've been in constant contact with him about it. But he came off, but you got a good quality player in Noah coming on, and I'm sure he's going to be disappointed like it not starting. However, the reason I gave him was I thought Kevin, Jamie Crowder done really well on Monday, and likewise tonight. I thought that both of them went in there, they embraced the battle. And yeah, Noah was obviously, visibly disappointed, but we wanted to get the ball wide. I thought Darren Thomas, I still think Darren Thomas now, the last couple of games has done really well for us. Was a threat and was a thorn in their side for them. Kai, to be fair, it's sometimes a thankless task, whether it be the centre halves at TNS or the centre halves at Connah's Quay. They can hound you and they force errors. It was probably similar with Brad's on Brad's side. But yeah, it's one of them. We wanted to go into Kai and we wanted to get runners in behind, and runners up with him. I felt we'd done that for a spell in the second half. We caused 1 or 2 problems. But Danny Brookwell's been touted as one of the best wingers in the league, and when one of the best wingers in the league is playing at left back, you're sort of taking away that threat. Nothing against Brad's. Brad's is very good with the ball at his feet in tight situations. Danny Brookwell is obviously like blistering pace, so 2 different wingers that have different qualities. And yeah, it just wasn't to be. Connah's Quay got their second goal and their game management was brilliant. It's frustrating, little fouls here and there, and John Danby, the keeper, like with swapping sides with goal kicks. But I turned to our bench and I said, if we were 1-0 up, we'd be doing exactly the same. So we can't be having a go, at that. They've got the win, and like I said, we wish them all the best in the next round in the semi-final.
On a positive note, Sean, obviously we've got Noah back now. Now, we had 2 players suspended again, today for tonight's match, same as Monday, Breeze and Joe, so they'll be back next week, hopefully, yes?
They'll be back, yeah, they're frothing at the mouth, really, to be fair. Joe and Breeze have been fantastic since I've come in, and they've been good servants to the football club, and they're raring to go. Leo, I had a good chat with Leo at the start of the game, really, just a little bit of background on Wrexham and things like that, and he's a great lad, he's been fantastic since he's come in, so 3 very strong options to give us options to come back in. Unfortunately, I'm about 80-90% sure that Nathan is concussed. he said to me that he couldn't see, so that's a minimum 2 weeks. That's an FAW ruling. Luckily, we haven't got a game, you know, after the Bala game. We've got a bit of a break, which is that we've landed on our feet there. And we'll just monitor Gaz Evans. You know, he's going to want to play, knowing Gaz, like, but, you know, we've got Bala, we've got options to come back in, we've got options from the bench. You know, Erfol doesn't need to run himself into the ground to earn the starting place, of course not, because we've got options to come in. So we'll monitor a few of the boys. Reece was struggling a little bit like with his neck. He said it seized up like yesterday, but you know, other than that, we've got players that we're nursing week in and week out. But every team's the same, Paul, I think, at this stage of the season. And yeah, you know, another game under the lights, you know, against Bala. We need to get out of this rut if we can. We've had some really tough games and, you know, tough things going against us. And yeah, just anything against Bala would be an absolute bonus going into the break, and then we've got the tough game away at Barry next. So yeah, it's sort of it wrecks your weekend, but yeah, it's football. It's football. You got to kick on. We'll watch the game back. We'll dust ourselves down, and yeah, we'll be ready for next week.
Tonight was the last cup, wasn't it? You're back to the league, as you said, against Bala. But you know, we're in the top 6. There are no easy games. We know that, don't we? So they're going to be every week the big matches against.
Yeah, relentless. Absolutely relentless, Paul. I totally agree with what you're saying. And Fish made a good point, and I think it's what I'll start every meeting with. You can't come up for air. You know, you're suffocated in it, to be fair. You know, we've been suffocated in it this week with TNS on Monday and Connaskey tonight. However, Connaskey travelled down to Barry on Saturday, had that game against Bala and had us tonight, so we're not going to use that as an excuse. And like you said, Paul, every game is tough. Every team in the top 6 poses a different threat. However, we pose teams threats as well, and that's why we are where we are in the league. We've just got to find alternative solutions, I think. And you know, that'll be spoken about this week against Bala. You know, we have an idea about what they'll go, but you know, going into the break with slight changes maybe in personnel, it might be time to change 1 or 2 things. But you know, at the end of the day, we've been successful in the way we've played. We haven't changed too many things, and it's got us where we are in the league. So it's interesting. You know, it's the challenge that I love as a manager, to be fair. You know, sitting down with the management, sitting down with the senior players, you know, just having a chat, just getting various ideas. You know, even chatting to opposition managers as well. You know, they can be massive help. So yeah, we've overachieved. We know that, but we've also set standards as well. And they haven't slipped drastically, but we need to get back to sort of where we were. And, you know, as a management team, it's our job to do that.
Gorffan, same as usual, Sean. I'm not sure. I have to ask you this every week because you know what's coming. And could follow me at mark allan y 10, please.
Dwi'n meddwl, fel bod y tîm yn performiad yn dda, ond you know, the standards may have dropped a little bit, you know, to be fair. With looking at Connaskey's team and you know, with the injury struggles that they had and the big name players that got out, you know, Andy Morrison touched on it all the time. They always find a way to win, and that's a really good quality to have in a team. You know, when your backs are up against the wall, they find ways of winning games. And you know, like I said, full credit to them. You know, I wish them all the best in the semi-final. Wish them all the best in the Iron Brew Cup, because obviously they're flying the flag for Wales. You know, he's a manager that I respect greatly, as well as their management team as well. But yeah, you know, on our boys, we'll be disappointed. We were frustrated at the end, you know, of course, and you know, I'm sure the fans were a little bit frustrated as well. But you know, we'll be doing everything we can to stop this run of results. We're not used to it, so it's a big learning curve for us. And yeah, we're learning the hard way at the minute, unfortunately. But I've got big characters in the dressing room, and we'll be back at it again in a week's time, that's for sure.
Correct. Diolch yn fawr i chdi, Sean.
Thank you, diolch, Paul. Nice one.